It's been more than 5 months since the release of the Samsung S23 Ultra, and today I'll share my honest opinion on whether or not it's still worth considering. If you followed my previous content, you'll know that I switched from an iPhone 13 Pro Max after being an Apple user for a very long time. The main reason I switched was because I was looking for something fresh and exciting, because being in Apple's walled garden and not being able to do everything you want to do when it comes to customization and multitasking was getting a little old, to be honest. And the S23 Ultra was pretty much the answer I was seeking. Instead of creating an ecosystem or direct comparison video, I mainly just wanted to provide you with a genuine long-term review based on my experience with the S23 Ultra. Alright, so first off, let's talk about how this phone feels in the hand. Most of the time I use a case with this phone. So its squarer design coupled with the fact that it's less of a curved screen doesn't mean much to me past the fact that it looks better. And also, with the heavily curved screens of the previous generations, it could actually distort your viewing angles. But if you are one to use your phone without a case, you'll most likely find that it fits a little bit better in the hand versus the previous heavily curved screen models. I will say one thing though, even though it is a little nitpicky, this is an honest long-term review. And so when you are holding this phone in landscape mode, for example, when you're playing games like COD Mobile or you're watching videos and you're holding it with both hands, the squared off design tends to dig into the hands a little bit, and it can get a bit uncomfortable after an extended period of time. Either way, that's not a huge issue. It's just something I wanted to mention. Also want to mention all of the links will be down in the description below, and make sure you click on them and check them out, because as of recording this video, the S23 Ultra is actually on sale right now. In terms of aesthetics, this phone is absolutely one of the sleekest and most sophisticated phones on the market right now, in my opinion. It's got curved edges with a shiny finish, along with a frosted glass back, looking absolutely amazing too. Even if you never see it, because almost all of us use cases. However, if you don't use a case, just be careful not to drop it, because that back glass will shatter and or crack. And we can't go, of course, without talking about the battery life. Look, I'm sure you've already heard about the battery life. Everyone is talking about it. If you use the 5000 milliamp hour battery in the S22 Ultra, you would know that battery was okay, but it's not the best. Well, due to the massive increase in efficiency in the SoC in the S23 Ultra, this battery is insane. Even though it still has the same 5000 milliamp hour battery, it is night and day difference from the S22 Ultra. Then back in April, Samsung released another update which improved the efficiency even more, which made the battery life even better. I usually get around 12 hours of battery life before needing to charge up. And if you do need to charge up, then it does have the 45-watt quick charging capabilities, and that's going to be able to really help get you back on the road. So no more being deprived of all those amazing features a $1,300 smartphone has to offer due to a lack of charge. It's important to note that I haven't disabled any features like 120 Hz or 5G, and I'm almost always rocking my phone on max brightness, and I don't really ever enable low power mode either. If I paid this much money for a phone, then you best believe I'm going to use those features. Moving on to display. Though my use case of just playing some games and watching some YouTube, browsing social media, and occasionally editing some photos, I never get tired of looking at this gorgeous 6.8 inch AMOLED display. It gets super bright at 1750 nits of brightness, and on top of that, it's plenty sharp at over 500 pixels per inch, so anything you do, whether it's playing Candy Crush or COD Mobile, or just kicking back and watching some YouTube, it's gonna look amazing on this thing. The blacks are such a pure, deep black, and the colors are so bright and vibrant they almost just seem to pop out of the screen. Also, having the 120 Hz screen is really nice too. If you are one of those people who can't tell the difference between 120 Hz and 60 Hz, you can disable 120 Hz and save some more battery, as if you needed it. When it comes to the overall performance of this device, I must say that it has held up remarkably well. Including battery life, it's able to run even the most demanding games such as COD Mobile at max settings without even missing a beat. And when it comes to things like editing photos, which surprisingly can be really intensive on a device, it does great in that department too. In general, it just always seems to work so quickly and efficiently, being able to handle even multiple tasks simultaneously. The processing power is definitely a noticeable upgrade over the S22 Ultra. Nothing ever really feels sluggish or slow when using this phone. Cameras. So as a photographer, I actually don't use these cameras a ton, but I have used them enough to form a decent opinion about the photos they take. So long story short, the photos that you're gonna get out of this thing are stellar. They do oversaturate them a little bit in my opinion, but a lot of people actually like that because it makes them pop a little bit more and it makes them more vibrant and overall just more pleasing to look at. The zoom capabilities are miles ahead of the iPhone. You won't even get anything close to what you can do on an S23 Ultra. Also, really quick, the S Pen, I won't spend long on this, but I love this thing. I do have a couple of different videos going over why I love the S Pen so much, so definitely go check those out. But this thing is amazing. Again, links will be in the description below. Make sure you check them out and make sure it's not at its lowest price ever. Amazon is actually where I recommend buying it from since they do have a pretty good return policy if you change your mind. If you're on the fence about this thing, I would say go for it. If you are an Apple user thinking about switching, it really all depends on how many Apple devices you have and how bad you really want to leave the Apple ecosystem. If you rely on a lot of Apple features like AirDrop, there are some alternatives on Samsung, but if you already have, say, an iPad and obviously an iPhone and maybe a MacBook and Apple Watch, that really is probably the tipping point to where you may just want to stay in the Apple ecosystem. But again, pick one up from Amazon. If you don't like it, you can always return it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.